So this really cool picture that you see right here is a special lens, a special camera that can film neurons in real time. And so the green part, the image you see right there are neurons. As neural educators, it's our goal, job, responsibility to apply our neural lens to our students' classroom educational philosophies to every aspect of our work. So in this remote learning world we're living in, we have the same goal and responsibility. And if we really think about it, we actually have the privilege to apply our neural lens to this situation that is really challenging to work within, right? It gives us an advantage because while many educators are really struggling to take their work into the remote setting, we can thrive. So in our synchronous time with students, like on a Zoom, we likely have cameras, mics, breakout rooms, chat boxes, and we're going to look at all of these things with a neural lens. Social evaluative threat, we're going to talk about that for just a second, or I'll just say SET, is one of the reasons forcing students to keep their cameras and mics on should not be a part of a classroom requirement or rules. This is something that a person can have in any situation or environment, and it will be even more significant for that person in a virtual setting, for a person that is challenged by SET. Students that don't typically struggle with SET are also finding themselves struggling with it now. So if you just think about the setup of a classroom, maybe everyone in a classroom in the building is facing forward and not looking directly at each other all day. Or even if they're sitting in pairs or groups, they have a couple people in front of them, they might see their face here and there, right? Look up at each other, but not as often as staring at everyone's face and being constantly aware that everyone is looking at your face because you can see your own face as well. That's not a like normal world situation, right? You're not constantly looking in the mirror when you're trying to talk to other people. So it's not just the factor of this in a Zoom meeting. The biggest factor is a student not having the autonomy to turn off the camera or mic when their brain and body tells them they need to. We want to design for learning, not compliance. So in conversations with teachers, this is a big debate in our district, and I'm sure it is everywhere. We've heard the following: I can't teach to a black screen. I need to know if they're listening. I need to read their body language. I feel like I'm alone in the room. I know some students are doing it on purpose. So this is a very teacher-centered compliance lens, but we don't use that lens. We use our neural lens, right? So we want to ask ourselves, what have I done to build connection and relationship? What kind of community have we built together? What can I do to make my students feel safe enough to talk during class? What have I done to find out why a student won't turn their camera on? This is a student-centered neural lens. So just this weekend, I was missing my daughter terribly, who's only been away for 2 weeks in Seattle to school. So I went up Saturday early in the morning to get her and drive her home. And on the way home, she told me an experience she's been having. That's a perfect example of why students need to be given choice and autonomy over how they appear in the virtual setting. So she says to me, Mom, something so weird is happening for me at school. I've never experienced this feeling in a class before. In my philosophy class, my professor makes us have our cameras on during class. And I've been so consumed with the thought of not being able to turn it off, of him calling on me. And what if I don't know the answer? And then everyone is staring at me. And then I just keep facing them the whole time. I say the wrong answer. They keep staring at me. I keep staring at them. I can't even pay attention to anything he's saying. In one of my other classes, we can have our camera off or on. And I usually choose to keep it on. I don't mind. But just knowing I have the choice makes me feel fine about it. Isn't that so weird? And I was floored because I did not bring this topic up with her. And this is our topic for tonight, right? No, it's not weird. It's called autonomy, and our brains seek it for safety. And if we take away autonomy, brains aren't learning what you are teaching. They are distracted in the search for autonomy. We need to design for learning, not for compliance.